Story that is going to have a lot of significance for all of you. And I am trying a new product, so we'll see if this works, and hopefully it will. So I'm just going to keep going and see what happens. So I wanted to talk about the ants, and many of you who know me know that I have a thing with ants. And what I want to talk about is, oops, hold on. Oh, geez, there we go. So what I want to talk about is consciousness and how we bring things from the past into the present and how that can affect us. So, I'm using this story of the ants in order to show you how a past experience that can be traumatic, how you can continue with that past experience in your physical being and it could affect the present day that you're in, and how to be able to shift out of it so that you don't continue to live your life day by day from the past and instead you live it from the present moving forward. One of the things my guides taught me early on, when I moved into this house, I had a moment of like, ah. And they said to me, stop making decisions from where you came from, make choices for where you're going. And what they meant by that was to stop making all these, like, I was going through all these moments that I made decisions about this house. And I was like, why did I do that? Oh my goodness. It's going to be just like blah, blah, blah. It's going to be like that time I bought the other house. And they were like, stop it already. That's not the truth. What you need to do is focus on the future, focus on where you're going, focus on the present moment, and make decisions from there. Don't make them from the past experience. So let me tell you my aunt's story. I was living in Sherman Oaks in LA, and I went to have some dinner in the other room, and I about 30 minutes only, and I came back into the kitchen and there were ants all over. I had cathedral ceilings, very high ceilings, and it was covered in black moving ants. And it freaked me out so much that I was like totally traumatized. I couldn't believe that they were taking over the house, and I didn't know what to do. And I was getting out there and spraying things and trying to get rid of them. And it was like a horror show. It really was like a horror show. I wish I pulled out my camera at that point and took a video, but I didn't. So moved out, got the ants taken care of, had an exterminator come over and figured it out and didn't deal with ants anymore. And I moved into this house. And then I went into the kitchen one day and there were ants. And you may be like, what's the big deal with ants? Well, if you've had the experience of ants completely taking over a kitchen, you would understand why I freak out when I see ants. So the ants were in my kitchen and they were like swarming in. And I was like, oh no, I can't have that experience again. Oh my goodness. And I completely freaked out. And I went like a maniac trying to get rid of the ants and killing the ants and trying to figure out how to get rid of the ants. There was somebody once who got very upset that I killed the ants. If you're somebody who gets upset that I killed ants, you probably shouldn't listen. So I noticed my whole physical being like reacting, but not not because of what was happening in front of me, but because of what happened in the past. And I still couldn't stop myself. I was beside myself. I had to go play a tennis game and I was like the ants and I got soap in my eye and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I'm going to go home and they're going to be all over the house and they're going to be swarming and they're going to be taking over. And I had this whole freaked out moment. So I went home and I dealt with the ants and had a few days of freaking out, got an exterminator in, freaked it out, figured it out. Then they showed up again. And this time they were out in my front deck and they were like covered the front deck. And again, I went into that freak out moment because of the past experience, the very first experience I had. I wasn't dealing with it in the present moment. Instead, I was dealing with it from the very first experience I had with the ants in my house where they took over the kitchen. And they're all over the front deck and I'm freaking out again. And I can tell you that I'm a sensitive person. So I don't deal with things like normal people. Most people, I think a lot of people that follow me, they are sensitive like I am. I'm always amazed at the person who could just see something like really traumatic out in the world and be like, okay. And I'm like, oh my goodness, did you see that? Like, and it really affects me. So I dealt with the ants on the deck, called an exterminator again. Let's get rid of these ants. It's making me nuts, blah, blah, blah. And I could feel like I had to like get a control over my past experiences and how it was affecting me in the present day moment. Promise you this is going somewhere. So then the ants showed up again. And this time I was more conscious to my reactions. And I was like, there's no truth here. Just because I had that experience so many years ago with ants does not mean I'm going to have this experience now. I know how to deal with these ants. I don't even have to call the exterminator. I know how to get vinegar and water. I know how to use a natural pesticide so that I'm not hurting my animals. I can handle these ants. And I was still very obsessed, like walking around my house, staring at the floor, like, where are the ants? Where are the ants? And then I saw one little ant in the kitchen. And then I went to get a paper towel to get him and he was gone. I'm like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? I got to find him. And I couldn't find him anywhere. And then, like, later on that day, he was on my stairs. And I'm like, you bastard, man. Got out of the kitchen, was going down the stairs. But I had more control. I had more dominance over my life. I had more dominion, as one of my clients used yesterday. I want more dominion over myself. And I was like, I love that word. And I wasn't as freaked out and I took care of it and they went away. So this week I got up and I'm getting ready to read my book at the kitchen table with my morning coffee and my morning ritual journaling. And there's an ant on my book. And I went, oh, I know what that means. And so I started searching for the ants. I did not react the way I normally do. I knew how to handle it. I knew I didn't have to freak out. They were going to swarm all over. I just dealt with it. And it's such a simple lesson how we take past experiences and we bring them into the present moments and we react from that place. And we don't want to do that. We really want to exist in the present moving forward. So you want to get very conscious to how you feel, your reactions. I was just talking to another client, a coaching client, and she was having experiences with something. And I said, you need to pause. You need to pause because you're reacting from a very old place, a very antiquated place, a place that doesn't support you anymore. And you need to remember who you are today. And usually I teach people how to breathe into light that is a colored light that is very resonant for them, that feels very powerful. And if you could take like a few seconds and breathe into that light that is very powerful for you, you'll bring your nervous system down. If you're anything like me, I have my nervous system goes up. You bring your nervous system down, and then you're able to make really great choices and really great decisions in that moment. And I can tell you, it took about half a day, and the ants are already gone, and I know how to handle them. So I just wanted to share that story because I think it's really important to really stop bringing in past experiences into the present moment, because I'm seeing people do it all along. I'm always like talking about, I'm looking at the Facebook page so I can see comments. I'm always talking on my business page when I do lives, and I'm communicating with a lot of people right now. And I'm noticing how many people are bringing past experiences into their present moments, right? So I'm asking them, like, what do you need to do to change? We all have dreams in our heart, and there's usually a belief system that's keeping you from moving forward in those dreams. And some of it is fear of failure. Some of it is not feeling good enough. Perfectionism. I do not have the perfectionism gene, thank goodness. Perfectionism. The other one is not feeling supported. And I can't remember what the fifth one, but there's 5 main beliefs. And we're talking about it on my business page and on my personal Facebook page about what beliefs. And what I'm noticing from everybody is they're carrying a lot of past experiences into the present day. And that is stopping them from living their dreams. That is stopping them from moving forward and creating the career that they desire. It is stopping them from having the relationship they want to have, or having the friends they even want to have, because they may have had a bad experience with friends and they don't believe in this present day moment that they could have a really good experience with friends. And we can't live our lives like that. So I'm going to give you 3 quick tips to do whenever that experience happens, because I really want to see people move forward. I've said this on my podcast. If you don't follow my podcast, it's Who Can It Be Now? And I talked about last week in episode 140, I think it was, that I'm no longer speaking to people that are like committed to staying stuck. They're the ones that I'm like, I see their talent, I see how good they are, and I'm constantly dragging them to drink the water. I'm like, come on, come on. I'm not doing it anymore. I want to speak to the change makers. I want to speak to the innovators, the creators, the people in my programs. They don't stay, we all have things that come up. We're not perfect, right? But they don't stay stuck. They have the tools and the techniques to find that the moment is happening to teach them something, and then they move forward through it, and then they use it as a teaching moment for their students, right? So I don't want to see all these talented people just stay stuck anymore. and use excuses. It's like when I feel better, or when the house is organized, or when the renovation is done. Somebody had said to me, who I love, she's a great person, and she's like, I can't get to my business yet. I'm doing a renovation and I'm not in the house, and my life's on hold right now. And I called her out on it because I know what a renovation is like. I know how disruptive it can be. I was renovating my house, had a puppy. Like, why the F I brought a puppy when I bought a house and was renovating it? Like, what the F? I then adopted a puppy. Like, what was I thinking? I already had 3 cats and a dog. Let's add a puppy. And my house was still being renovated. The contractor went MIA. And I was going to production meetings selling my own TV show with producers. I couldn't say, oh, guys, can you wait? Can that production meeting wait? No, I had to show up, and I showed up, and I did great in those meetings. You can't put your life on hold because of things that are happening, and you can't put your life on hold because you're waiting to heal from an experience. I had another conversation, and I'll probably do a reel about this with another client of mine about putting herself out there. I know she won't mind me saying this, putting herself out there, and she recognized, like, somebody that from her past saw her video, and she's like, it triggered me. And I'm like, of course it triggered you. That's why I keep telling you guys to do it, because you're not going to get past those moments of trigger. You're not going to get past those moments of insecurity unless you put yourself out there and do it. It doesn't happen from sitting in your house reading a book. It doesn't happen when you're sitting in meditation. It happens when you live your life, and then you use the tools and techniques to get through those moments. Now, you could always work with me, and I'm going to get you through those moments. That is for darn sure. So if you want to work with me, direct message me and find out how to work with me. But I'm going to give you 3 tips right now that'll help you in the moments of exasperation, fear, anxiety. Close your eyes right away and take a few breaths into your heart. Know what is your highest resonant color, the color that really connects you to your soul, connects you to your higher self. Breathe into that color. It's like, Mel Robbins talks about the 5-second rule. Pausing, and I didn't read the book. I've only seen her talk about it, so I can't speak like an expert on it. And I'm not an expert on it. It's Mel Robbins' expert. But if you just take a few moments, like I've been really teaching my students how to get in touch with that higher power inside of them, because it's not out there. It's in here, and it's connection. It's through your breath. So you breathe into that color, take a couple of breaths, you close your eyes, you pause, you don't react from the old place, you find the new place. And then you open your eyes and you remember you're in the present moment. You're in a new moment. This is a new situation. The bully isn't coming after you again. Your father isn't there with a ruler. Your mother's not there calling you a loser. Whatever the story is, you're in a moment. Even if you're in front of a boss that's difficult, you have dominion over who you are. I love that word that she used. I'm not going to say her name. And remember who you are. Remember you're an adult. Remember you're a conscious adult, and you can shift things now. And make a decision from the empowering place of where you are. Don't make the decision from the past. Anytime, so the 3rd step is you're going to make a powerful decision. And anytime the fear wants to come up, yeah, but the last time this happened, you did da 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 da, and you made such a fool out of yourself, and you should have blah 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 blah, and da da da, and all that friggin' stuff that happens. Connect to the color, the breath. Remember you're in an infant moment. Dissolve that. I put the color on that. Dissolve it. I don't need to push that part of myself fully away. That's a whole other conversation. I'm a different person today. This is a different moment. There's only 5 ants. I know how to take care of them. And then make an empowering decision. Okay? So let me know what you think about that. And share this video if it's helped you. And if it hasn't, then don't share it. And, tell me how you're going to choose today to live an empowered life. Like, you're not going to allow old circumstances to stop you any longer. Commit to it. I was talking to somebody else today, another client. I've had a lot of client calls lately, so I don't remember who I talked to. And when you coach with me, I have Voxers, so some of them Voxer me and stuff like that. And they were saying something about how they were done with something. And I said, well, do you decide, blah, blah, to just be done with it now? Like, I wrote a decision statement for the person. You decide right now, I am going to live from the present moving forward. I am going to remember who I am today. I'm going to remind myself that the trauma is not happening, and I'm going to make better decisions. And that's all you have to do. And it'll be great. So just try it. See, it's simple. Like a lot of my tools and techniques, I'm using a new system, so I'm just seeing how it's working. A lot of my tools and techniques, and if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, here's the chat. Found the chat. A lot of my tools and techniques are very simple. Very simple. People think it's got to be so. I've got to like go to the Reiki master and I've got to get healed, and all that stuff is great because you need support. Everybody needs support. But I don't need to go into a 5-hour meditation to find my truth. I can find my truth in the minute. And that's what you're looking to do is find your truth in the minute, make a decision from it, and move forward. Okay? So make a decision right now to show up differently in your life and to commit to who you are. And stop, please, please, please stop putting off your dreams. Please stop. Okay. Give me the loves and the likes if you like this. Share this. Also, put in the comments more of what you want to learn from me because I'm finally, after everything I've been through last year when we had a whole team change and I changed my business and I stopped doing a lot of things that I used to do, and we're starting to finally get on solid ground. And that's a scary place to be too. I want to talk to a lot of people about what that's like. It's not easy. I just got an invitation to do something today, and it was so tempting. But I had already said I'm not doing that anymore. And I got the invitation. Remember, I have to remember who I am. Oh, in the past, it was great. It grew my audience. It made me money. Da 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 da. But I'm not that person anymore. So I have to remember who I am today and make a decision from that place, not from the place of, oh, that would be really nice to have that cash coming in right now. No, no, I'm in a whole different place right now. I'm teaching different people. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to learn. And let me know, most importantly, that you're committed to yourself. That's the most important thing, that you are committed to yourself. Okay. And then just give me the comments. I'll be back on another time, probably tomorrow, and I will share. All right, guys, sending you a ton of love. Thank you so much. And I hope you liked my ant story. Bye. I don't know how to end this thing. Oh, there it is.